gang, I am so excited that this has finally arrived. It has been #1 on my can't wait for this to arrive list for a long time, since the first moment I saw it. It is the Synergy SYN-20IR. It is a single module. What do you mean module? Module. This is the preamp. This is the amp. So it's a single module, which you get 2 channels on the module, and the head has a beautiful clean channel built in. So it's a 3-channel little amp that weighs less than your pedal board, I bet. It comes in at 20 watts utilizing EL84 power tubes. All of the preamp tubes are on those modules, as you saw. It puts out a loud 20 watts. This is amazing for home use. It's amazing for rehearsals. It's amazing for small and mid-sized gigs. Maybe your huge gigs. Well, how are you going to do 20 watts at a huge gig? You do that with the SYN-20IR. The IR part is the IR output. You run that to the front of house, and then you just blast through the PA system, and then you have your 20-watt amp as sort of a self-monitoring thing. So you have a speaker output, an IR output, a headphone output, which you could also run to something else. It's a very clean output there with an independent volume control. You're able to fine-tune the power amp controls with the reactance and structure. I'll get more into that later. You can switch your IRs. There are 4 IRs accessible from the front panel, but if you go into the software editor, which is very easy to do, a very simple USB connection, and you're off to the races, there is an entire list of beautifully captured IRs ready to swap in and out. And if you're partial to your own, drop it in. Very easy to do. All of these things are assignable per channel, and you could recall it with the 3-button foot switch or any MIDI controller. So you can assign your clean sound with a particular structure setting and a particular IR. You go over to your lead sound, let's say channel 3, change the structure setting, change the IR. It really makes that functionality really almost more than 3 channels, because with a different IR and a different structure setting, everything sort of changes. So let's dig in a little deeper. I'll show you a couple different modules, and we'll get a little more hands-on with some of these controls. I have the Friedman BE Deluxe module plugged inside the SYN-20IR. It's a great module because you've got your 2 varying degrees of dirt in those 2 channels, and then you've got your clean on the SYN-20. We're going out to the 412 cab, mic'd up with a 57 and a Royer 121. Sounds like this. This master volume only controls the speaker output volume, which is very helpful because you can run your channel volumes wherever you like. That's going to affect the IR output. That's going to the PA or the front of house or into your DAW. And then you could set this master to whatever you like to come out of your cab or for your personal monitoring situation. Let's take a look at the structure settings. This controls the negative feedback and the depth. The A position is the standard go-to. It sounds good on almost everything. It's a great starting point if you don't know where else to start, or if you're a little like option paralysis. Just go to A. A is great. B is a little more vintage vibe. It's gonna have a looser, more open bottom end and a lot more sort of bright top end. C has a much bigger mid-range, much bigger bottom end. It's great for taking the same sound and making it a lead sound. So that gives you almost 4 channels there by just shifting the structure. But the structure is sort of a default maybe for like a Soldano or Diesel kind of sound. I'll run you through them on this BE Deluxe. The reactance control is a presence control, but it also controls negative feedback as well. So it's a little more powerful than just a traditional presence control. All the way to the left, it's going to be dark and a lot sort of looser. As you go to the right, it's going to be tighter and brighter. I have it down pretty low right now, and I'll show you sort of the drastic sweep there. It got pretty bright and edgy, but you got to remember there's like over 20 different modules. That's a lot of different amps. You might be playing a bright Strat, another guy's playing a hollow body, another guy's playing a Les Paul. Completely drastically different sounds. So it's nice to have a broad sweep for you to dial in the entire contour of the amp and the module you're using. Now check this out. I can program channel 3. We're going to go to HBE mode. And I'm going to go heavy here, right? Channel 3, heavy, lots of gain. Structure is on A. Back that reactance down a little bit. That's going to sound something exactly like this. Now for channel 3, I could leave it all there, but switch the structure to C, which is going to be fatter, warmer. That'll be my lead tone. I could also set these up identically if I need a volume boost. But I just want to show you the structure difference in the tones there. That structure C takes a little edge off the top and then adds that to sort of the fatness and the body of the notes. But for rhythm stuff, most of the time I do like A as well. But you could EQ around that if you want to go to C and then drop the mids, add a little extra brightness, maybe pull back the bass to tighten it up. You could also get great tones that way. Now, if you're one of those people that is thinking like 20 watts will never replace my 100 watter, that's fine. Because the SYN-20 wasn't meant to replace your 100 watter. I mean, this thing is so light, you could just grab and go. You could go to your gig and you could plug straight into the 100 watt backline. Or I'm using the Synergy power amp, I could go straight into that. So I'm going out of the effects send, and you would go into the effects return of a head. In this case, I'm just going into the power amp. And so you could still use the IR outputs. You could still use the amp speaker out in a personal, maybe monitor system, and then you could have a stack of 412s to blow away the audience if you like. Now let's go an entirely different direction. I unplugged the speaker cable, so master's down, there's nothing coming out. We're going all IR here, and I swapped out the module for another one of my favorites, the bman. This is like a big tweed bassman kind of thing. So I have 3 channels of vintage now. I have the built-in clean channel set as my very clean. I have channel 2 set as a little bit dirtier from the bman module. And then channel 3 is set real nasty. For these vintage tones, I might want to go to the B structure. I'll show you the difference in sound there. Let's get a little more. Here we could switch the IR. It's a little sweeter without that extra big, hefty 412. Now structural, let's go from the A to the B. Little more chime up top and a little more vintage sort of bottom end on there. Back to A. So that's more firm and it has that sort of like pushed, punchy, woody low mids. B opens up. And C gets much thicker. And that's not a bad thing, because on something like this, that might push you more into sort of like a Dumble-ish vibe where everything's really big sounding. Hey, since you're still here, can I just show you this real quick? It's the Fortin Killer Cali. It's awesome. There's so much control for dialing in the beef on the Killer Cali. It starts very plexi-ish. Right? That's very old school. And then you choose violence. It's awesome. I just want to chug all day with this thing. That thing is just nasty. That is the new SYN-20IR from Synergy. It kind of does everything really well. I love this thing. It's so light. It sounds awesome. It changes with you. Like 1 week, I'll be on one module all week, and then the next week, I'll be swapping them in the middle of a song. It's fantastic. And I think the modules sound especially good inside the SYN-20IR, whether you're running it to a cab or just running the IR out. It's just like a great delivery package. So the price of entry is fantastic, and then the price of expansion is also fantastic. I mean, you could go from the heaviest of heavy to blues stuff to jazz stuff to everything in between at $400 a pop. I don't usually give like a Michael Nielsen seal of approval, but this gets one. I love this. I think it's fantastic. It ain't going anywhere. Yeah, Synergy for the win. All right, gang, hey, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't. It would super help me in the channel to keep bringing you informative and hopefully semi-entertaining videos like this. But most importantly, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.